friends.
Welcome to Spiced Chaos. I am Leanne of SpicedPlans.
And I'm Caitlin from Creating in Chaos.
And today we have a very, very special guest host, the one, the only, Heather Kell. Woo!
Hey guys!
Yay! Hey
Yeah.
Heather, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all?
I'm pretty good.
I'm doing good. Can't complain.
No, I definitely have had a busy day. I know that you're coming off of a busy week, Heather, and Caitlin. We do kind of the same job, so I know you're tired too.
I am. I've just got off the phone with my 7th graders, so.
Wow, so you talk to them on the phone?
I do. Yeah, I talk to them on the phone or text them. A lot of the times it's communication with their parents, just because that's kind of the nature of how it works with online school. But yeah, I talk to them on the phone all the time.
Oh, well, that's really cool. So we want to welcome Heather to Spice Chaos. And Heather, you are our first guest host.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, we're feeling very honored and privileged to have you as our first guest. It's kind of a big deal for you to be the first one.
Totally. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. And we have never we have a hard enough time not talking over one another when we're podcasting. So, we're going to have to get used to this dynamic of 3 people because we think we're going to like to have guest hosts. So,
And I'm really bad about talking over people. I think it's because I have a twin sister. And so my whole life we had to talk over each other to be heard. So I apologize if I talk over you guys.
No, it's totally fine. Just everybody know that we're just going to spend the whole podcast just talking at the same time.
Or Spice will edit it out.
Well, I'll do the best I can. But there's sometimes that, we're both saying something important at the same time, and I just leave it in.
Right.
So, Heather, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you as if they don't know?
Yeah. So on Instagram, I'm Kell of a Plan, Kell. That Kell's my last name. And so I'm Kell of a Plan on both Instagram and YouTube. So you can just search that up and I'll pop up.
Okay. Well, I know that, we chose you as our first guest because not a whole lot of people know you. So we're trying to get you some, we're trying to get you out there. I feel like you're really worth watching and people need to know who you are. So we were just let's give Heather a chance.
If you're not following Heather, what are you even doing with your life for real?
Well, and it's really cool because I feel like that you are known in all the planner communities, not just the happy planner world. I mean, I know that you did your channel kind of based on the happy planner or whatever, but I think that because of Go Wild and everything, everybody knows you, even in the Erin Condren community and just everything.
I think I'm starting to spread out into the other communities as well. I think
Right.
It's definitely more well known in the happy planner community, but I'm trying to dip my toes into the other communities as well. So
see, we are trying to kind of, it's difficult for us right now to appeal to other planner markets because we, this is a planner girl podcast, but we're not going to discuss happy planner news. We're not going to, this is definitely not like Hello Happy where we talk about nothing but the happy planner. So it's kind of we're trying to get out there to people that maybe aren't even planner people. Just not that I don't know if anybody who's not a planner person would listen to this, but I like to think they would.
They might.
Maybe.
They might. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, the last episode that we did, we talked about the Happy Planner Girl line for most of the episode because.
Oh my gosh, so excited.
Yeah, I listened to that episode yesterday when I was at the airport. Y'all entertained me for a good while at the airport.
Thank you.
Thanks, Heather.
Yeah.
But it's impossible to avoid talking about it because it's such a huge. It's just a huge part of our lives.
I feel like it's really hard for me because on my channel, I've tried to branch off and show other product, but I'm still just so obsessed with the Happy Planner that I just keep going back to it. So
yeah,
right. Well, how can you not be obsessed?
Yeah.
And Caitlin, that's one of the things that she and I talked about that we wanted to ask you. Do you still get excited for every release?
Yeah, I do. I when they did the Happy Planner Girl lives, I guess that was last week.
Yeah.
And they showed Homebody. I thought I was gonna cry watching that live video.
Right? I'm right there with you.
This is so beautiful. I get so excited. And I think like whenever I get a new sticker book, if they haven't flipped through it, then I try to wait and flip through it until I'm actually flipping through it like for my YouTube channel so that people can like see my genuine like excitement over these stickers. I still get really excited, especially about the stickers. I'm a little bit obsessed with stickers. So
that's why I started watching your channel. I love your reactions. Like when you are first looking at a sticker book, I just love how excited you are because I feel the same exact way inside.
Yeah. It's probably a little over the top, but I don't care.
No, girl, I love it. I love it so much.
Well, that's why I love to do a haul video when I've actually just gotten an order from Mambi, because when I'm opening the box for the first time, the joy that's coming out of my mouth is real.
Yeah, especially because so much of it, even if you see them flip through it, it's just so much prettier in person. Even if you thought it was pretty online, it's so much prettier in person.
Like the Amy Tangerine Be Happy box. I actually did an unboxing of that on my teeny tiny little baby YouTube channel, and everyone else had already done an unboxing, but I didn't care. I was like, I'm going to record this because, and every reaction that I had, even though I had watched 12 other unboxings, I was like, oh my God, a pop socket.
Yeah.
The tissue paper from both the Teresa Collins and the Amy Tangerine, when you open that box, you're just like, oh.
That tissue paper is one thing that makes me laugh so hard because like I felt like right after the Teresa Collins box came out, I would get on Facebook or Instagram and like so many people were posting all these amazing creative projects that they had made with the tissue paper. I'm like, you're surrounded with crafty people when everyone is even making stuff from the tissue paper that was in the box.
Yes. I saw some beautiful spreads that people did with the rainbow Amy Tangerine paper.
Yeah, I saw some amazing stuff being made with that tissue paper.
Yeah. So how was everyone's week? Caitlin, we'll start with you because we just want to make sure we're not talking over each other. Caitlin, how's your week been?
My week has been more mellow than it has been in a long time. So we're in week 3 of our school year this year, and so I feel like I'm like finding my groove. I'm teaching a new class this year for those of you who are just popping in, and so I'm like having to re-prep everything, and I'm from the high school and now I'm in the middle school, so I'm finally kind of finding my groove. So it's been pretty chill. I don't have anything super exciting to talk about, but I'm chilling. How about you?
That's good, because last week you were like running around like a crazy person.
All right, I needed a drink, a big one.
Yeah. Excuse me. So Heather, how's your week been? I know that we probably already know exactly what you did for the past.
Yeah, I was in South Carolina the past couple days, and so my little brother and his family now live in just outside of Clemson, South Carolina, and so I went to go visit them. And then I flew home yesterday, but I got stuck at the Atlanta airport forever. And so by the time I got home, I was just so tired, and I felt like I didn't get anything done yesterday. So then today, I've been just busy. I've been working all day long because we're going out of town again this weekend. I travel probably way too much. So I'm trying to get all my work done so that I can go out of town this weekend and not be stressed out about it.
And I saw you post your Teresa Collins hourly thing today. Yeah. And I saw where you put Spiced Chaos on there, and I was like, yay!
So exciting. I saw that too.
Yeah, I had to block it off on my schedule.
Yeah, I know. And I just appreciate so much that, I know that you're having a busy day, but this is awesome. So, well, my week, today is like Tuesday, everybody, like, just to be honest with you, today is Tuesday. We record this like a week in advance. So that's no secret. That's no like podcasting secret.
Right.
But it's already been the longest week of my life.
Oh no.
And I felt like that last night, like before I went to bed, I was like, oh, this week is so long. And then I realized that it was only Monday evening.
That's the worst.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it's just because I have one of the busiest weeks that I've had so far since the new school year started. And it's just, I have to say that the greatest thing that I ever did was switch to that monthly layout, because I feel so put together in a way that I never have before, because I finally found the layout that was right for me. And I have tried every single one. So just because I'm busy, I'm enjoying like, ticking things off of my list.
Yeah.
So are you saying you have planner peace? Are you saying that?
Well, it's very elusive, but yes, I am. Heather, do you have planner piece?
I don't really believe in planner piece
No?
because I feel like it's like an unattainable goal. And if you're always like, I need a planner piece, you're never going to be happy with what you have. So
Yeah.
I feel like I like to just take whatever planner it is that I've chosen and just make it work for me.
Okay.
And that gives me planner piece, but it's not something that I'm constantly like seeking after, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And Caitlin, do you have planner piece?
I have the opposite of that. I have planner ADHD. I like to change it after like 2 months all the time. I have planners all over. Like, I don't even show my craft room anywhere because literally there's planner pages on the ground and covers everywhere and discs everywhere. It's like just a hot mess that I put together and make a planner.
That is so true. That's a great way to describe a craft room. Because mine looks just like that.
And that's pretty much how mine looks right now. Mine's a disaster.
Oh, I don't believe it. Yours is always beautiful every time you show it to us.
It looks beautiful in the photos that I show.
Well, that's like when I show my desk at work. I like position everything just right, so that it's like, look at how busy and productive and cute I am with all of my little stuff, when really there's like a pile of papers the size of my head.
Yep.
Like sitting next to me. So today we recorded Hello Happy on my planning period. So that was, kind of crazy. And then I went to the DMV, which I hate, but it's a necessary evil. You have to go. And then when I got home from picking up the kids, our puppy had like a terrible accident in her crate. I mean, just... Oh. It was, yes. And I mean, seriously. And I know that this is a family show, so I'm going to keep it like super PG. But it was almost like she just took her butt and like just stuck it up against the back of the crate and just sprayed it out. I mean, it was
no.
I can't.
Yes, I know. And I was like, okay, so today is the day that I'm going to have this really awesome conversation with Heather Kell. And
right?
And I come home and I'm cleaning. I mean, like, that's really a way to humble yourself, It's like I spent my day like, yeah, I'm talking to Heather Kell this afternoon, like it's nothing. And then I come home and well, I know that we're all just people, but it's funny because when I started this journey like a year and a half ago, I watched you all the time and I was like, oh my God, she's so great. And now,
that's how I was when I started planning. That's how I was with April from Mom Runcraft. She is like the queen in my book. And so when I got to meet her last year at Happy Planner Squad boot camp, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is April. Or like it was the biggest deal.
Yes, her planner is beautiful.
Yes.
And she plans horizontal, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. She does.
I mean,
she's like the queen of horizontal, like with the sections and all the things.
Yeah, so that takes some skill. I did have this moment of like, okay, I'm very humble right now, and I'm just a girl cleaning up poop. and then I came upstairs, and and when we interviewed Stephanie Fleming on Hello Happy, I was like, did you know that you were going to be Stephanie Fleming? And did you know that you were going to be Heather Kell?
No, never. It's still weird for me. I was actually at the Alabama game on Saturday. We played at the University of South Carolina. I was there with my brother and his family. And a girl came up to me in the stands and was like, oh my gosh, are you Heather Kell? I follow you on YouTube. And I was like,
I love that.
I am. And it was really nice to meet her. But when she walked away, my little brother was like, what just happened? Like, what was that?
Right.
Yeah,
well, I definitely feel that because I started following your blog when I first got my Happy Planner in like 2016. It was the very first watercolor cover that they did, and I started following your blog originally before you had a YouTube channel and just like the start of your Instagram. So I feel that. I feel that a lot.
Yeah,
I haven't written a blog in a long time. That's
no, it's hard to remember to do.
It's hard to keep up with that many different content creation areas of life. So.
Yeah, even with a really good planner, it's hard for me to remember. Like, okay, so I've neglected this blog for, well, it's going on like 8 months now, so I guess I don't have a blog anymore.
But you do still have ads on it. So it's still
Yes, for sure. Okay, well, Heather, you need to give us just a minute because Caitlin and I have a shout out that's very special.
Yes, so special.
Yes, it's so special. So, Caitlin, I'm going to let you go ahead and give this shout out to this lady.
Okay, I'm going to need your help with her Instagram handle because I feel like I get it wrong every time.
Okay, hold on a second.
I'm pulling up my Instagram. Okay, I got it. So her Instagram handle is Plan Pen Paint Parent, and her first is Jenna, and she is fracking amazing. So this woman took on 4 Hobby Lobbies yesterday out of the kindness of her heart to send Spice and me like hundreds of dollars of Happy Planner products while she had a 4-year-old in tow.
Yes.
So she's my Happy Planner hero this week.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yes. And, I know that we can all order from Mambi on Friday, which of course I'm going to do. I've got like all this cash stashed in the side, and I've already told Andy, my husband, here's what's going to happen. I mean, he is going to put me out one day. But, I just let him know that, there's going to be a big purchase, so don't be surprised. But this definitely took the edge off.
For sure.
Yeah, because they have 40% off right now, and she drove to all these different places. She stopped and had to have lunch in the middle of it.
Right.
I mean,
that's
yes.
dedication.
I mean, she was just like, I'm out here to get this stuff for these planner girls. And she had already left a Hobby Lobby when I contacted her because Caitlin was telling me Jenna's at Hobby Lobby, and she had already left and gone like to Target or something. And then she went back for me. Like she turned around and went back.
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I know.
She got me my homebody. I'm so excited. I literally cannot wait till that thing shows up on my doorstep.
Did you get the floral cover or did you get the green cover?
I got both because I'm going to start it now.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to redate it and start it now. I'm too excited. I can't wait.
So I'm going to do the same thing with Stargazer. I'm going to get both covers, and I'm actually going to go all the way back to the beginning of September and like rewrite everything and just start.
So cute.
And just start from like September all the way through, and then I'm so excited about it. And last night I sat down with my monthly stuff and I said, I am going to put stickers on this if it kills me, because I just have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to this monthly layout. I just write on it. It's just pen. So I watched a few videos. At Home with Keita has some really cute ones that are, that are like monthly layout stuff. So I watched a couple videos, and then I decided that I was going to turn my Botanicals monthly planner into a Stargazer planner.
It actually turned out really cute. She was texting me pictures late into the evening last night.
So I got out all of my Free Spirit and my like celestial kind of stickers and just turned it into Stargazer.
So what are you going to do with that Stargazer that you created last night if you're just going to use the new Stargazer when it arrives?
Oh, well, this was just for fun. I mean,
this was just for creation.
This was just, this is the way that this is the only crafty art thing that I really am capable of doing. So.
Hey, I don't know. Your lettering looks really cute these days, Spice.
Oh, well, that is so nice of you to say, Caitlin. I have been practicing my hand lettering, and I have to say, I got a lot of my tips from you, Heather. I look at your handwriting all the time. And, I know that it's never going to look just like yours because everybody's different.
Right.
And I've been participating in those like handwriting challenges that people will put out, and, certain words every day.
That is the key to improving your hand lettering. I have people ask me all the time, like, how did your handwriting get so good? And I've literally just practiced it as far back as I can remember. I would practice my lettering. And that's just what you have to do to get it better, is do that. Right.
Well, and what is the name of that company? I got a book called Happy Hand Lettering from Dayspring.
Yeah, from Dayspring that Megan wrote.
Yes, they sent me that. And because I'm just kidding. But they sent me that just, I guess, to put up on my Instagram or something, and I was like, sure, send it to me. And
yeah, they sent me one too. It's a really good book.
It's a really good book. Like all of a sudden my hand lettering has improved so much because, I mean, you probably didn't really need to go through a book at this point, but I didn't know where to start, and I just sat down with her alphabet and just started tracing it, and
I still love going through books though, because it's fun to practice different types of lettering. Like her lettering, it doesn't look really anything like what I do. So it was still fun for me to like just play around with those types of letters. So
Yes, and it's a really cute book, and I don't know, that was awesome. I guess I probably should do like a real review of it since I actually really enjoyed it. I should probably, I mean, they sent it to me so that I could tell people how awesome it was. So I guess I should tell people. Well, I just did. So everybody go get
I
that.
might need to check that out because I'm traumatized after like trying to learn cursive in the 4th grade and failing. I want a hand letter. I want to do it, but I just have that mental block. I'm like, is it like cursive? Is it not? Is it going to be too hard?
Not.
Okay, good.
So don't look at lettering as cursive. Look at it as drawing letters.
Okay, cool.
Like, that's if you look at it as like art, like you're drawing the letter, then it's different.
Oh, that's a really good tip. I really do want to practice it, but I just have that little mental block. But thanks for talking me off the ledge.
Yeah, well, you pick up your pen a lot. I mean, like while you're hand lettering, you kind of you do.
Yeah, because you're drawing. Sometimes you need to like start from a different point to draw the next letter. So
yes, and I watched all of your hand lettering videos, and at some point, Heather, I actually screenshotted your alphabet, like where you had shown it on your video, and then traced over it like with a piece of paper on top of my iPad or something.
Several people do that, and they've asked me to just make it a sheet that they could print off, and I just never did. So
no,
it's not too late. Not too
no,
late. I'll buy
it. The releases are coming out right now. You've already said that you're still excited. So have you been checking the website every day to like see the new reveals and?
Yes, for sure. I checked it this morning for the stickers to figure out like which sticker books I absolutely, because there's so many sticker books coming out. So I kind of was like, which ones do I absolutely have to have first that I'm afraid might sell out if I don't get them like right now? And then the other ones are kind of like, these are ones that I'll get when I have a good coupon or when I sell, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Like made my list of what books are like must get right now, and I check it every morning to add to my list. So
what are your top 5? What are the top 5 you're getting?
So I already have the Homebody Classic book. If I didn't already have that one, that would be number 1. But I found that one at my local Hobby Lobby. So but I haven't found Homebody Mini, so that one. And then I want both of the Happy Hostess books because there's a lot of florals and a lot of yellow in that, and that's like so me. And then I want the monthly colorful boxes because it's boxes that look like they're gonna fit on like the monthly layout.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love colorful boxes. That's like
me too.
So those are like my top 4 that I still need, and then the Homebody Classic would be in my top 5 as well. Those are the 5 that I'm like most excited about.
I feel like that they made Homebody and they were like, what would Heather Kell like?
Exactly.
Yeah, everything except for the planner layout, because Heather doesn't like the planner layout of Happy Hostess. I was really bummed about that because it's the same layout as the Miss Maker that has like the checklist in the middle box. And I had Miss Maker and I never used it because I hated those checklists. And so I'm like, I don't need the planner, but I'm going to buy like everything else from that collection.
Yes. Well, that cover with the apron on the front is so beautiful.
Oh, stunning.
It is.
I just love it, but I don't need the planner on the inside. So I'm like, I can't buy it just for the cover.
You can too.
You absolutely can.
I mean, I know I can, but when there's like this many sticker books coming out, I'm kind of like, maybe I should spend my money on the sticker book.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, and as a person who is just now moving into the monthly like kind of checklist layout, I thought, well, maybe Happy Hostess would work for me because it has a place in every day for a checklist. But I don't really love where it is placed on the page. I don't know. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, it's in the middle. I don't like a middle checklist either.
And I don't like that they're like all in a row, like all next to each other.
That's the way I feel. I like to kind of stagger mine some. And there's some weeks that I'll do them in a row. But it really just, I want to be able to switch it up, and I don't want to have to cover something with stickers every week.
And I feel like I don't like that they made that decision for you. Like, you're going to have checklist in every middle row for the whole year. Like,
yep.
I don't want to be boxed.
That's overwhelming to think about.
Yeah, I just got really tired.
Yeah.
Man, I had not even thought about that because seriously, when I look at the monthly, it used to intimidate me because it was just like page after page of checklists. But now I've kind of realized that that's how I plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, if I have something to do at 5:30, like I did today, then I just write in a little checklist line, spiced chaos at 5:30. I mean, and I just put it on my to-do list. It's not like it needs to be in a certain, I don't know. It's working for me and it feels really good. It's been a while since I've been excited about my planner. I mean, I'm always excited about my planner products,
Right.
but
Totally.
to have to be like every couple of weeks rethinking my layout is just like, I don't know. So this is kind of nice. So we're just going to see how it goes. Heather, have you tried the monthly?
So I use the monthly. I actually do use that layout for my boutique planner. I have a online boutique with my sister, and I have tried so many different ways with it. I used to try those checklist pages that you're talking about for every day, but it just got to be where I wasn't using them, and then I was having empty pages, and that like stresses me out to have I can't stand empty pages in my planner.
Me
So
either.
now I just use I have the I think it's called Vintage Botanical, the really pretty black
Mhm.
floral monthly layout.
I have that one too.
And I use the actual monthly view just to track like our boutique schedule. And then I'd have the note pages where I could take notes from all of like we have a lot of like meetings with other people and for our boutique, and I track notes there. But so those are the only pages that I actually use from the monthly, but I've tried it before.
Okay. So where can people find your boutique? Like if we wanted to go and buy some stuff, like I don't know how to get there. I mean, I know that you kind of put it in your story some, but
Yeah.
what's coming up for fall? Do you have any?
First I'll tell you where you can find us.
Okay.
I say us because I do it with my twin sister. A lot of people don't know I have a twin sister, but I do. Her name's Holly, but we don't look like twins. We don't even look like we're sisters, but we are. And so we are on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook. It's called The Garden Boutique with Holly and Heather.
Mhm.
And then we also have an Instagram account that's thegarden.boutique. And then we also have an app. If you want the app, you can like send me a message on Instagram or something, and I can send you the link to the app.
Oh, that's cool.
So people could just go on the app and shop just like you would at any online clothing store, and you can add stuff to your cart and check out on the app, and you never even have to talk to me about it. But kind of the perks of joining the Facebook group is like we have a community, and we show you how to style things, and we show you pieces that match, and we just get to know each other, and we hang out, and it's more of like a community that you get to shop in on Facebook. So you don't have to join the Facebook group, but it is like a fun place to be as well. So that's where you can find the boutique.
Yep, I'm in that Facebook group, and it's fun when you guys go live. Those are some of my favorite nights.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun, especially like on Saturday nights. We try to do game night, and we just act really silly together. So it's a lot of fun. But and then we actually get our clothes from a distributor called Piffany, and the way that Piffany works is they release a new style every week, and it's a limited release. So once the style is sold out, it's sold out. And it doesn't like come back in stock. So we actually only know things like that are coming 3 weeks in advance. So I don't have like a lot of information on what all we're going to have in the fall, but I do know some fall trends because like, Fashion Week was like last week or the week before that. And so I try to like follow along just to know like what kind of trends are coming up for fall so that I'm like, educated when I'm styling people, because I love to style people outfits. And so apparently, if y'all are interested, I can tell y'all some of the fall trends.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Please.
Oh my gosh.
So purple and green are supposed to be like really in this fall.
Beautiful.
So
Hocus Pocus.
Kind of fun. Yeah, those are colors that I feel like you don't see a whole lot.
No.
Leather is supposed to be in a lot, like leather jackets, leather skirts.
Leather pants.
Yeah, leather pants. That's supposed to be really
get
it. Puff sleeves, but not like super puffy. So don't think like a big 80s puff, but like a little bit of a puff, which the we actually have a shirt releasing on Thursday that has a little bit of a puff on it. I have it on right now, but I know y'all can't see me because we don't have our video on. But it's just like a cute little puff on the sleeve, and it's super cute. So that's supposed to be really in. And then tie-dye is supposed to be really in. And then one thing that I found really interesting, I don't know that we're going to have anything in our boutique with this, but do y'all remember like back in the early 2000s when like one sleeve shirts were really in that like swooped across, but it was like a one
Yes.
sleeve.
Yes.
That's
Totally.
really in again. Like,
Really?
Interesting.
which is, I think it's kind of
Okay.
interesting for fall, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. That's just what
Well,
everyone's saying. So
You know, if I can't put a cardigan on with it, then
Exactly.
another
notice
thing
that.
that's supposed to be really in though is duster cardigans, like long
Oh
ones.
yes.
Yes.
Love a good duster.
I every time I see you post something, I think, I wonder if I could wear that. I wonder if I could wear that.
Good.
You know, like
Totally.
I know, like I don't know. I'm so picky about things that, oh, you know, when you have a little bit of curve to you, you have to like be careful. But I don't know. I bought one of your T-shirts and I love it. So.
Well, that's one thing that is a little bit different about Piffany is Piffany, the reason that we sell them is because I am a curvy girl as well, and it's really hard to find flattering clothes that are like in style once you reach a certain size. But
Totally.
Piffany, what Piffany does, our head designer, her name's Rachel, and she's amazing, and she does it. Most fashion companies just make clothes bigger, like they take the same cut and just make it bigger for the for plus sizes. But Piffany actually changes the shape of the garment based off how someone that size's body would be shaped differently. And so it's not just like a bigger size, it's actually shaped to flatter the body of someone who would be that size.
I love that because sometimes I want like a longer shirt, for example, to cover whatever area I'm self-conscious about that day or whatever, or not so tight in one area but flattering in another area. So I love that they cut it differently for a curvier body.
Yeah, and they do that like a lot of our shirts, they'll add length for the bigger sizes so that they are a little bit longer and
love
stuff
that.
like that. So that's one reason that I love that company and that brand, and that's kind of why we've chosen to use that brand in our shop right now, is because it's actually clothes that flatter people who are shaped like me, but it also flatters people who are extra small. So it's clothing that is made to fit real women, no matter what your size is. So
Love it.
That's super cool. One of the things that I've noticed about plus size skinny pants is that for some reason they think that my ankles are really big.
yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, that is an issue with a lot of them because it's like they make everything else big and they think your ankles are going to be really big too. I mean,
I
Exactly.
know. So, it's like I really want like a good pair of skinny jeans, but, to get one in the size that fits my rear, then you get it down to my ankles and it's not even a skinny jean anymore. It's like a boot cut.
yeah.
They think that I have these huge ankles and I'm like, well, my ankles are really kind of normal.
Right, exactly. Maybe even slender. Like,
well, I don't want to go that far, Caitlin.
hey, I'm gonna just toot my own ankle horn. I have nice ankles. There are no ankles over here.
Heather has nice ankles too.
I bet she does.
My ankles are fine. I don't have a problem with them.
Well, I know I've seen them when you show off the stuff, like because you're always so cute in those pictures, and I know that you have Matthew out there taking pictures of you, and
I love that. That's the sweetest ever.
He is ridiculous.
So how does he feel about all of this? Like, I'm not saying that this is like this big, not how does he feel about your boutique, but I mean just your life, your choice to be, what should we call you?
Oh yeah. What should your job title be?
Because we don't want to say guru because we talked about this in the last episode that we don't want to say guru.
And I don't like the word influencer.
I hate the word influencer.
I do too. I hate it.
I think it's like, first off, it makes the person who is the influencer sound like all they want to do is like convince people to do stuff or sell stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm not trying to make everyone spend their money. I'm just showing people what I love.
Exactly,
And
just enabling.
and then when you call yourself an influencer, I think you're also like saying that other people are so easily influenced. Like, and I think that's kind of a negative. Like, people can make up their own mind. They don't need me to convince them to do something. So I don't like the word influencer either. I kind of like when I worked, or I didn't work for the Happy Planner, but when I was on their squad, I kind of liked saying like I was a brand ambassador for them. I kind of like that better than influencer. Now when people ask me what I do, I either tell them I'm a YouTuber or I tell them that I'm a content creator is usually what I say.
That.
Oh, I like that. What did we come up with? Social media professional.
Social media professional. So we came up with last episode.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where there's not an official word besides influencer, and I hate that word. So
yeah. So
lately I've been saying content creator.
Do you have business cards for like just for Kell of a Plan?
I don't.
No.
I probably maybe should. I don't know. I feel like I don't really meet people like in the real world who need to know what Kell of a Plan is. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like in its own bubble, unless you're at like Planners Gone Wild or something.
Yeah, and then like there, maybe I would pass out business cards, but if I'm just like out and about, I don't really see myself being like, here, watch my YouTube videos. Like,
stick them in all the planners at your local Hobby Lobby. Go down the line.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I love that idea. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have SpicedPlans stickers made up.
There you go.
And I'm going to put them in all the planners at Hobby Lobby. Like, follow me at
SpicedPlans. Hand lettering. Put your lettering on it.
With my mediocre hand lettering.
I love it.
I think that's such a good idea. Well, I mean, or we could put information about the podcast.
That's right. Or both. Two sides.
Yes, both. Yeah, I think that content creator is a really good way to say it, because that is definitely what you're doing. And you're not like trying to make people buy stuff. I've never once felt like you were trying to sell me the Happy Planner.
And no one has ever made a comment about like, you show too much Happy Planner stuff. But the second that I start showing other stuff, people are like, you do too many commercials. You're doing too many ads. And I'm like, I really don't do many at all. Like,
I've never noticed one at all. I mean,
the only one I've ever noticed, and it's only because I do it too, are the Arteza ones. But other than that, I have not. Oh, and maybe the fridge one.
Yeah. That fridge one was really funny for me because Matthew and I had actually been talking about getting me a fridge for my office, just because there will be days that I don't ever leave my office. And then he gets so mad because then I don't like drink enough water or whatever. So he's like, we just need to put a fridge in your office. And then like literally the next day, this fridge company emailed me asking if I wanted to review a fridge. And I'm very particular about my channel. I don't want to just review something that has nothing to do with my channel. So I was like, well, am I allowed to cover the fridge to make it match my office, to kind of make it like a DIY project?
Yep.
And they were like, sure, that's fine. I was like, okay.
I thought it was perfect the way that you did that video. I thought it was perfect. It was good.
Yeah. So,
well, everybody's craft room needs a fridge.
That's right. Genius.
Yeah, I know. I'm starting to think about getting one for mine.
Or just like my bedside table. Take away the bedside table, put in a mini fridge.
Oh, yeah. Then I would never have to go downstairs.
Exactly. Give your kids the iPad, get your mini fridge, you're set.
Because I've been planning in bed more lately than I ever have. And I don't know why that. I think it's just because I'm so comfortable here that I have this like little lap desk, and I just bring a couple sticker books in with my planner and just sticker my planner while I'm watching TV. I could do that in my office too, but I don't know. There's just something about being in here. I definitely need a fridge somewhere. Besides downstairs, because who wants to go down there? Because that's where all the people are.
I know, right? It's too people-y down there.
It is way too people-y downstairs. And there's a lot of animals down there. We have way too many pets. I mean, especially after today's... Yes, after today's situation, I was like, okay, I'm done with this pet life. Like, this is... But you can't just be done, you know? It's like, what choice did I have but to clean up the mess?
Yeah.
So, well, let's move on to our currently pages, because that's kind of one of the things that we like doing on here, Heather, is talking about like because, you know, even if you don't have a planner right now that has, an extensive currently page. We, thought that we would ask you kind of what you're reading and planning and dreaming and all that kind of stuff, what we would normally write on those pages.
Okay.
So we will just start with reading, because some of this stuff Caitlin and I have already talked about this month for our September.
Yep. So I am a really fast reader. Like, I read so fast, and I love to read. And usually when I start a book, I finish it in the same day. That's how fast I read.
Wow.
And so I actually read two books this weekend. I read one book on the way to South Carolina and one book on the way back. And so I finished both of those. So I'm not currently reading anything today, but the books that I read this weekend, one was called The Girlfriend, and it wasn't the best book I ever read, but it was okay. It was kind of like a guy had fallen and was gonna, he was in a coma and he was gonna die, and the girlfriend was being really weird, and they were trying to figure out if the girlfriend pushed him, basically.
Ooh.
And then the other book that I read was called A Long Way Down, and it was also about a murder. Apparently, I'm just really in murder mysteries right now, but it was about some murders that had happened in a town, and they were trying to figure out who committed those. So I read both of those this weekend. So today I'm not actually reading anything, but that's what I've read recently.
And so was that second one, The Long Way Down, was it one of those kind where while you're reading it, you're trying to solve it yourself?
Yeah, it's one of those where they are they're trying to figure out who it is, so they have a bunch of different suspects, and you're trying to figure out who it is. Yeah, and so whenever I read those kind of books, I know right away the author's not going to make it obvious who it is right away. Whoever they think it is first, that's usually not who it's going to be.
Right.
And so the whole time I'm reading for clues as who is it really? Who's acting weird? Who's doing weird things that may not seem weird but really are? And so I get really into them. And I think that's one reason that I read so fast, is because I just have to know how a book ends. And so I'm I'm just going to read the whole thing today because I just have to finish it.
So yeah, there are times when I will start reading something and I'll burn my eyes out just to get it finished. I don't care if I have to stay up, for 48 hours to get it finished.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons why I don't read as much as I used to, just because I am completely useless to my family once I've picked up a book.
That's how I am. And so that's why I have to be a little particular about when am I going to read. So I read on a plane ride because I know I'm stuck in this plane. I can read. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm not reading anything right now, because I would just not get any work done because I'd need to finish.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just got back yesterday and then you worked all day today. So you said you were going out of town this weekend, so maybe that's what you're planning. I mean, I don't know if you have your currently page in front of you because you knew that this was coming, but what are you planning?
Yeah. We are going out of town this weekend, but I actually didn't really plan much of it because Matthew actually kind of planned it. We're going to Fredericksburg, Texas this weekend. It's a little German town about an hour and a half outside of Austin. And they have a bunch of wineries, and we love going there. It's our favorite place. So he actually planned that. So I would say the trip that I'm probably doing a lot of planning for right now is my entire family is going to Disneyland in December. And
that's exciting.
I'm the only one out of all of us who has ever been to Disneyland, because growing up in Alabama, you just always go to Disney World. And so me and my sister-in-law are working together to kind of plan this Disneyland trip, because there's a lot of us going, because I have two brothers and a sister, and they're all married and they all have kids, and then my dad's going, and so there's a lot of us, and so we're trying to plan that whole trip right now. So
oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. Well, you should get in touch with Stephanie and have her come with you.
Well, we're going. Normally I probably would, and I'd be like, hey, come meet me, let's hang out, but we're going the day after Christmas, and we're going to be there through New Year's Eve. And so I feel like that week is kind of reserved for family a lot of times. That's when people do a lot of family stuff. So
you know what, what's one of the weeks in the year that I have no idea what day or what time it is.
Yeah,
exactly. Christmas break.
Yeah, I have never have any idea. I remember I missed a therapy appointment the last time it was that during that week, because I just didn't know that it was Monday. I mean, I just
exactly. It's the summertime too for teachers.
Yeah. I know. Well, see, I'm better in the summertime because I keep my planners up in the summertime. But over Christmas break, I was just I don't need a planner. Just put it away. And
just threw it to the side.
I just shoved it off to the side. In fact, I actually kind of took a month off, and I will probably never do this again, but I took a month off from planning and from social media in December of last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of a mistake because my growth kind of slowed down and, all that kind of stuff. But, once I got back into it, everything was fine. But I just felt like I just needed a month off. Heather, do you ever feel like that? Like you just need to not plan for a minute?
I feel like now that it's my full-time job, because Kell of a Plan is my full-time job at this point. And then when I first quit teaching, it was really my boutique was my full-time job and Kell of a Plan was kind of on the side. But now Kell of a Plan has grown so much that it's really my main focus and the boutique is on the side. And so I feel like sometimes I feel like that, but I can't really just not do it because it's my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what about you, Caitlin? Do you ever feel like just, oh my gosh, I just need a minute away from this like social media world?
Yeah. So not to like get too much into like the negative side of social media, but kinda, I had been experiencing some negativity coming my way from other creators, which is unfortunate. And so recently I just took like 3 weeks off because I was like, I just need to focus on work. We're at the beginning of the school year. I don't need any other distractions and I just need to not hear this negative crap that's happening right now. So I recently did just take like 3 weeks off and I've started posting again recently. We talked about that on our other episode, but I did post again. So I think I'm back and I think things have settled down. So sometimes I definitely need to.
Okay. Well, I feel like that sometimes it just becomes a little bit overwhelming and I have not experienced any negativity yet. So,
it's because you're so lovely. We love you.
Well, okay. Sometimes I'm not lovely, but I'm sure that there's probably people that listen to one of the podcasts and are like, I'm definitely Team Queen or Team Caitlin or, like there's probably people that are anti-Spice, but they haven't said anything to me, so I don't know yet. So we're just gonna wait and see. So Heather, what are you watching?
Well, Matthew and I are currently watching The Office because I found out about probably a month and a half ago that my husband had never seen The Office, and I was like, how have I been married to you for this long when you haven't seen this show?
Oh my gosh!
It floored me. I was like, what? And he was like, I mean, I've seen like an episode here and there, but
no, it's not that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm like, no, to like appreciate The Office, you have to watch it all. Like
you have to watch Pam and Jim like grow together.
Yes.
So I like we were sitting on the couch when he told me that, and I was like, well, we're gonna start The Office now. So we're almost done with it, but we've been going through that series. We try to watch like 2 a night. So,
but then he falls asleep.
I know, and so then I have to be like. Usually he stays awake during The Office, and then it's put something else on that he'll fall asleep.
Well, I would be like, Matthew, you can take your couch and go outside if you haven't seen The Office. I cannot believe that.
No, right? I was shocked. I was like, what? We have to fix this. So.
Well, I watch it on a loop. It's one of my things, kind of like planning, that's very comforting for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to like fully pay attention to every episode at this point because I've watched it like 9 times.
Right. That's how I am with Friends. All of the Friends episodes.
Yes, I am just like that with Friends too. But for some reason, The Office in me. Yeah, every time I get to the end of the series, I just start it over. So I'm always at some point in a rewatch.
Yeah, it's just one of those shows that you can watch over and over again.
It is.
And so I'm like really proud of the fact that Matthew is about to be able to say that he has seen all of The Office. So.
Well, then you're just gonna have to start it over. I mean, that's the way people that love The Office do it. I mean, he's just gonna have to start it again. Because when I first watched it, when it was actually new and on television, I did not like Michael Scott.
Well, the first season, because the first season of Michael Scott is very different from Michael Scott in like other seasons.
Yeah,
and they
definitely
character because the audience didn't like him, and everyone was always complaining about it, and they like purposely changed his character.
Well, and now when I watch season 1, I just give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm just like, I know that you're Michael Scott and I love you, and it's okay that, you know, these first few episodes were a little rough. His first impression wasn't perfect, but I don't know. I feel like that, you know, everybody that's only seen the show maybe 1 or 2 times has like an idea of who they think he is, and I'm like, no, you don't know Michael like I do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are you eating?
What am I eating?
The currently page is so funny, isn't it?
I love pizza. I eat a lot of pizza.
Yeah, I can eat pizza every day.
It's probably my favorite food, and it drives my husband crazy because he likes pizza, but I love pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And like a week ago, we went to this restaurant in Southlake, Texas. So if you're listening and you're local, you have to go to this place. And it's kind of like a Brazilian steakhouse, which I don't know if you are familiar with Brazilian steakhouses, but at Brazilian steakhouses, they like bring the meat around and like cut you off some, and you get to try all this different steak. It's like that, but with pizza. And so it's like all this like crazy different pizzas, and they just walk around and they're like, you want some of this? And you get all this pizza. It was magical. I was like in heaven.
What is your go-to pizza topping?
I'm really not picky. I love meat lovers pizza. I love pepperoni pizza, but I will eat anything on pizza as long as it's not pineapple.
Oh,
really?
okay.
You don't like the pineapple on the pizza?
I love pineapple, but pizza's not supposed to be sweet.
I agree.
Like,
I'm there with you. Cannot do
I'll
pineapple.
eat a dessert pizza because like dessert pizza is supposed to be sweet, but like normal pizza is not supposed to be sweet.
So, do you guys have a restaurant, just both of you, where you are, called Bricks?
Nope. No bricks.
So
no, okay.
I've never been there.
All right. Well, we have this restaurant here in North Carolina called Bricks Pizza, and it's one of those like brick oven kind of pizza places. Almost everybody has one of those brick oven places.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Yeah, but they have this pizza called Spicy Shrimp.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And
this pizza place we went to had a spicy shrimp.
And they use that sauce. It's called Cholula.
Oh, yes. I freaking love Cholula.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. And they use that instead of pizza sauce, and then they put the cheese on it, and then they put, like, I think it's got some, like, basil or something on it, and then the spicy shrimp. And then they put, like, goat cheese all over it, too, or feta. I think it's goat cheese.
Yeah.
And see, like, my husband can't stand goat cheese, so he always has them take it off. But there's something about this pizza. And this girl that I work with had some of this spicy shrimp pizza at lunch the other day, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. Like, I have got to go. I mean, does that ever happen to you where you have something to eat one time and you just think about it for the rest of your life?
Yes. And people just talk about it. Like, people just talk about food. Because you're talking about spicy food right now. Now I'm going to have to have something spicy.
I know. Now I'm like, what should I eat for dinner now? Y'all are making me hungry.
I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be that time pretty soon. And I went ahead and fed the kids before this, but I was like, I'll make it through the podcast without eating. So, but I'm not going to be able to go get spicy shrimp pizza because it's so far away. It feels so far away.
Maybe you can go this weekend.
Yes,
get some Grubhub, have it delivered.
No, it's too far to have it delivered. I've already checked, Caitlin. You wouldn't believe. Of course, I went to DoorDash. I went to Grubhub. I went to Postmates. I checked all the places.
Oh, jeez.
None of my delivery places that I rely on will bring me this pizza. So I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna have to go pick it up, and that's just getting in the car and putting my bra back on. And
don't they know? And your pants. Remember you said you had to lose the pants before.
Oh, that's right. Before we called Heather, I was like, I got to take my pants off. Y'all know I do not make a podcast with pants on. I mean,
Why would you? Why would you?
Well, once I'm at home, it's like I just take everything off except for like my shirt. And then I just spend my whole evening like that. I don't know who these people are that keep their work clothes on all day long.
Right, I agree. Feel you.
Yeah, well, Caitlin, you never have to put on work clothes anymore. You just wear.
I don't. I wear stretchy skinny jeans and a hoodie on the daily. That's what I wear.
And then Heather, do you only wear the stuff from your shop, or do you have other stuff?
I mean, if I'm actually getting dressed, then I typically wear clothes from my boutique. But a lot of times I'll like wake up in the morning and come in my office and just wear my pajamas until like midday, and then at midday get ready.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds so awesome.
Life.
There was one. I have this really soft pair of pajama pants that can almost pass for work pants. Like Almost. And I did the first week of school, my grandmother was super, super sick right before she passed away. And it was the first week of school, and I just was barely getting out of bed. And I swear I wore those pajama pants to school. And nobody said anything because they're just black. I mean, they just kind of look like black pants. And you would have had to really get close to me and rub on me to know that I was wearing my jammy jams.
Like rub up on your penis. I'm envisioning one of your students with like a sensory something, like rubbing on.
Let me touch your pants. Oh, so Heather, what are you loving right now?
When I was in South Carolina, I was loving the weather in the mornings.
Really?
And the evenings. It was it would get hot during the day, but in the morning it'd be like 72. I don't remember the last time it was 72 in Texas. So I was just like, I'd go sit on my brother's back porch and I'd just be like, fall is coming. Please come to Texas too. So I guess I could say I'm loving the hope of fall weather.
Do you get fall weather in Texas?
We will, but it's short and sweet. So
okay, that's the way it is in North Carolina. We get like 2 days of real fall where we can say, oh, it's fall.
Yeah, I'd say maybe cold. November is pretty fallish.
Okay.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Oregon, we get all the seasons up here in Oregon.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I bet that's wonderful.
Texas, we get hot, like a week of fall and like a week of cold, and then that's it.
And then hot. Yeah.
And then hot.
Yeah, super hot down there. I love Texas. I've been to lots of different places in Texas, but I remember that the heat down there is different than the heat in North Carolina.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that works out?
Yeah, because the heat here is like wet. Is it like it's not really all that humid in Texas all the time? Not all the time.
It is like down in Houston when you're closer to the coast, but like DFW is not that humid. So
right. Well, and I just remember where were we? Which one? San Antonio. San Antonio is one of my favorite places to visit, and I just remember that the weather was super mild there, and I just thought it was.
You must have been there in the fall then, because it gets hot in San Antonio.
Well, no, it was not definitely the middle of the summer for sure. It was not middle of the summer, because that's not when you need to take a trip to Texas. Is the middle of the summer? Yeah. I don't think. Like if you're going to visit Texas, you need to go when it's colder outside.
Yeah.
So, and then the only time that I've ever been to Portland was November.
Oh, yeah, it's probably raining and cold.
It was raining and cold, but it wasn't so cold that I was miserable. So it was kind of like just perfect.
Oh, how many years ago was that?
Oh, just like 2017. It was just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, and I mean, it depends on the year. Like some years it could be snowing right before Thanksgiving. Some years it could be like raining and windy, and other years it's just like dry. So really depends.
Like this is compelling podcasting right now, you guys. Like this is
weather updates.
Yes.
Here's our weather report from the planner community.
Yeah, from the planner community. Yes. Oh my gosh, like this is riveting stuff, you guys. Like talking about the weather. So next, I'm just trying to look. What are you? Oh, this is so weird. What are you dreaming, Heather? Are you dreaming of anything? Do you have any like dreams or goals or?
Whenever I think of dreaming, I kind of think of it when they ask that on the Currently page of more of like goals. What am I dreaming?
Yeah, me too. I'm not like. What did you dream last night?
Although dreaming, like I had a really weird dream last week where, Matthew and I, there was a baby bear in our backyard, which bears do not live around us at all, so I don't know why there's a bear. And Matthew killed the baby bear because it was trying to attack us. So he killed it with a sword. My husband.
Oh my God.
I don't know. And then the mama bear killed Matthew.
Oh my God, Heather.
So realistic. Like I remember like then I had to like I like was grieving in the dream, and like I woke up like feeling sad, like he had really died, even though I know my husband didn't die from a bear. Like, and I just texted him and I was like, hey, and he responded and he was like, hey, and I was like, okay, you're alive, and he was like, yeah, like. But that was a really weird dream that I had last week.
Oh my gosh, I know that's so funny because when I have dreams like that where my husband has died, I'll wake up and like reach out to like see that he's like breathing and you know what I mean? And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like,
and
well,
that's
you just
what
died.
I did originally, but my husband goes to work so early that he was already at work. And so I'm like, okay, he's not in the bed. I'm going to text him just to make sure that everything's fine. Like,
yes.
See, when I have dreams like that about my husband, it's usually like he has done something, and so I wake up and I'm just mad, and then I'm just like glaring at him all day, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "In this dream, you do not even know what you did, sir. You are in so much trouble right now."
Matthew will wake up mad at me, and I'm like, "What?" Like, in my dream last night, you did blah blah blah. And I'm like,
exactly.
Okay, dream. I didn't really do that. Why are you mad at me?
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that because every time Andy, see, we have what we call Dream Andy, and then there's Real Andy. Because Dream Andy is awful. I mean, like, I don't ever get to have like a hot dream about my husband because it's like every time he's in a dream with me, he's like being terrible. So
same thing with Brian. Same thing.
And we've noticed that I have bad dreams about him when things are going particularly well in our marriage. Like when things are super, super blissful, you know, that's when I think my unconscious mind comes in and like tries to scare me. So,
worst case scenario.
Like, here's how it could be. But so because I'm always like, in my dream, I'm always like, well, we're getting divorced. And he's like, I don't care.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, like Dream Andy does not care if I leave him. Like, I can take the kids and leave. I can take everything and leave, and he does not care if I leave him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and so then that is totally not the way it would be. Like, if I actually left him, I would have to leave the children here because I'm not one of those. I'm definitely not one of those women that's married to a guy who would be able to do every other weekend. Like
Same.
Yeah, he couldn't. Do you have any goals right now, Heather? Like anything that we don't know about, or any kind of like?
Well, yes, but it's not necessarily things I can talk about yet.
Okay.
But now I'm super excited.
I know. Now I want to know, like, okay, so what's next for Kell of a Plan? She's like, yeah, I'm going to be on the Erin Condren squad, which is not a thing. Because
my mind just went to the Happy Planner hired Heather.
No, nothing to do with the Happy Planner. It's something I'm totally working on myself.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay,
so
cool.
Here's what I want for you to do then. I want for you to send us like a little DM like 20 minutes before it's about to happen so we can be like, oh, this is what she was talking about.
I'll do you one better. I'll send you a DM after this and tell you what it is. But you can't tell anybody else.
Of course not. No.
Okay, hashtag group chat. Hashtag
Well, I told you that I am best friends with Heather Kell now, and I have replaced all of my real friends with just you, just like a picture of you.
I would like to be best friends by association.
Okay, well, that's so exciting. Well, I mean, of course, you know, in this, I was about to say line of work that we're in, because I know that, you know, Caitlin is where she is in her journey, and I'm where I am in mine, and all this kind of stuff. And then, of course, we're trying to get your name out there, Heather. We really are. I mean,
right.
Yeah, like we see some promise in you, so we're hoping that people will, yeah. But, you know, I feel like that in our like line of work, it's nice to kind of always have a goal and kind of always have something like in your back pocket that you might be working on. Because I feel like that the goalpost moves, like, okay, if I can just get to 10K, okay, if I can just get to 20K, you know, like all of these numbers. And I've kind of gotten to the point now where I've stopped kind of looking at that. Because
and I used to be somebody who really looked at my numbers. When I first started, I actually like kept up with it in my social media planner, like from month to month. It wasn't like a daily thing, but I would track my monthly growth. And then I had to quit because it was just like, I feel like the numbers put too much pressure on you because you're like constantly, has the number gotten bigger? Did it get big enough? And then you start thinking about like, those numbers are actual people who are watching me. Like, and pressure when you really think like this many people are looking at my stuff. And so I had to just like quit looking at the numbers and just start setting more of like goals of things that I wanted to do instead of how many people were following me. So
well, and it's amazing because there are people that, you know, every single day somebody decides to start a planner Instagram or a planner YouTube. And I just think that, you know, it's so nice just to have one person say, I looked at your spread and was motivated to start my own Instagram, or I looked at your spread and, thought that I watched your video and thought, well, I could probably do that. I mean, I love to hear of people just starting out and joining the community, because I remember that feeling when I had 100 followers and I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember it too. I did the biggest giveaway. I was like, oh my God, 100 people.
Exactly.
On the spot. I was like, I remember I texted Matthew and I was like, Matthew, 100 people are following me. I thought it was the biggest deal ever. And it is a big deal, but it's just funny to be to now be like, man, I was so excited. But it really is exciting when you're a content creator, when people tell you that your content mattered to them, it's just a feeling that is unlike anything else. Because you're just okay, what I'm doing really does matter. It's not just random stuff that I'm putting on the internet.
Well, and I think all of us love to connect with people. I mean, all of us were in education or formerly in education, so we just really like to connect with people. And so I think that you have to have a certain personality type to do social media, and I think that matters too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what are you feeling?
Today in particular, I'm feeling tired.
No. If this was the beginning of September and you were filling out your currently page, do you know what you would put?
I probably would have put focused. I'm feeling focused.
Yeah.
I know what I need to get done this month, and I know how I'm going to get it done. I'm focused.
Sometimes I'll put motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling motivated, or and sometimes I'll be I'm feeling I don't want to do this planner right now.
Exactly.
But yeah, I like that, focus and tired. But most of the time you're tired because you're focused.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I can't tell you how many times I put tired on that currently.
Yeah, I actually write that on my currently sometimes too, because some months I am just tired.
Well, seriously, once you reach the age of 30, you're pretty much tired all the time. It's your body just gives up. It's just okay, that's it. We're done. Just walks out.
Brian and I were watching something on YouTube, and the girl was like, yeah, I've got a case of the mid-30s. And I was like, yes, I can relate to that so much.
Yes. Well, I still consider myself mid-30s, guys. I know that I'm...
You are.
30, mid-30-ish. But, I mean, when do you have to start saying late 30s?
38.
No. That's next year.
Get ready. You have got a year to get ready.
No, I think
not everybody gets to make it to their late 30s.
Well, that's very true. And I heard somebody once say, well, people were never supposed to live this long anyway. People used to die when they were 41.
It's
true. Yeah, they consider that old. So I'm just kind of I don't feel old. I mean, I feel tired, but I don't necessarily feel old. So
yeah.
But anyway, I think that feeling tired is something that, God, we're never going to be able to get away from. And this is the last one, Heather. What are you listening to?
This month, I have been listening to Lizzo.
I need to get on that. I've not started that yet.
My gosh.
I had it for a long time. I was putting it off. And then I went to Utah at the end of August with some other leaders from my boutique company. Mm-hmm. And they played Lizzo on the bus, and it just got stuck in my head. And then I came home playing it, and I've just been playing it ever since. So.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to get sucked in.
Okay.
Because my kids keep talking about it. My students keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So I wondered if there was going to be anything on your currently list that was the same as mine, and that's the one. Because Lizzo is what I wrote in September, because that's what I've been listening to. Yes, I adore her. And I don't know if it's just because she's a curvy lady like me and she sings about all her confidence and all this kind of stuff. There's just something about her message that is so it's infectious. It really is. So one of the things that we mentioned a little while ago, well, Caitlin mentioned it, was some kind of negativity that she's experienced in the planner community or just in the online community. And we kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about mental health. Okay. And I guess kind of why, and Caitlin, I hope you don't mind if I mention this, that, you and I both suffer from depression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depression and anxiety.
Yes, and I have not found that the anxiety, I do have some anxiety, but the anxiety doesn't really get in the way of, creating content, but the depression definitely does.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely times when I have a hard time, motivating myself to get done what I need to get done to continue, on this path. So does that ever happen to you? Because you have so much content. I mean, you are putting stuff out like every single day. I mean, you have to work in your office like all day, every day. Do you ever feel like you have to kind of make yourself, or do you have a way that you kind of get past that?
There's some days when I feel like my brain is done. Like I'm like, I can't do this. I don't have anything else to create. And so that's a hard hump that I have to jump over a lot. It's just like, what else can I make? What else can I do? And sometimes that makes me want to just be like, I'm just not going to do anything. I feel like people on Instagram are really nice. I've never really had bad things said to me on Instagram, but people on YouTube can be so mean.
They're so rude.
So sometimes I'll get some really rude comments on YouTube, and that can kind of put you in a funk, like if you let it. And then it just makes you kind of question things. And so one thing that I've really had to do to kind of protect myself from letting these online people affect me is just like remember who I am, and like that this doesn't define me, and that what they say about me doesn't define me, that like I know who I am and I know why I'm doing this. And if other people want to assume mean things about me, then that says more about them than it says about me. And so that's something that I'm like constantly telling myself is like, that says more about them than it does about me. And
yes,
I think that has helped me a lot, kind of block out a lot of the negativity, because as you get more followers, you do get a lot more of that negative stuff as well.
Agreed.
And I've experienced several different scenarios that have put me in a funk. About a year ago, I experienced one scenario. I won't go into details with it, but it put me in a really bad funk where some people were saying some stuff about me, and it gets to the point where you then like question everything that you do. Like if I post this, are they going to think that I'm doing this for whatever reason is in their head, or are they going to talk about me behind my back? And that was one of the really hardest seasons for me, because I had to constantly remind myself, you're doing this for you. You're doing this because you want to. You're doing this for a positive reason to help others, and what other people say, you just have to block it out. And so a lot of times when I get those negative messages, at this point, I just, especially on YouTube, I just delete them, because if I don't delete them, I'm going to read them over and over and over again. And then that's just going to make me anxious, and it's going to make me like in this funk. And so I just have to delete it and just be like protecting myself. And because if I delete it, it's gone and I can't harp on it anymore. Sometimes if I feel like mentally like I can handle it, I'll respond to the people. But even then, sometimes I end up just deleting it. So, and I also, one thing that I think a lot of people on social media struggle with is comparison. It's so easy to compare yourself to other people on social media. Like we were talking earlier about when we take pictures of our office and we take pictures of the,
right,
any part of your office that looks organized. And when that's all people see, it's easy for them to be like, oh, Heather's office is so clean and organized. So she has her whole life together, when really my office is a wreck all the time. If y'all saw my office right now, y'all would be like, oh my gosh, Heather, hire a maid. Like, it's terrible.
Oh, no.
But like, so it's really easy to get into that comparison trap on social media, because most of the time you only see the perfect photo that they've created.
Right.
And so people hear me say comparison is the thief of joy all the time, but I really think it is, because you can be so happy and so joyful with what you're creating and with what you're doing. And then the second you look over at what someone else is doing and you compare yourself to it, that joy's gone. And you're just like, well, she's making something better than me, or she has more followers than me, or she's getting more opportunities than me. And that joy that you had is now gone for no reason. Like, looking at her stuff isn't going to do anything for you except take your joy away. Not that you can't look at other people's stuff, but like when you're comparing yourself to them.
Right.
And so I try really hard to like constantly remind myself, like, there's room at the table for everybody. We can all help each other succeed. We can all like when one planner girl or boy gets an opportunity to work with a company, that's amazing for everybody because that company is now interested in working with people in the planner community. And like that's becoming aware of it. And so I really try to like keep in mind that like there's room for everybody. And when one person grows, the whole community is growing. And so that's another thing that I'm really passionate about telling other people too, is like comparison is going to steal that joy from you in a second. Like be happy with what you have and what you're creating, and then be happy for other people too. Don't like compare yourself to them, because that's just turns into negativity.
Well, and at the end of the day, our planners are supposed to be a place for us to be productive. I mean, like, it's supposed to help us, you know, keep our brains kind of situated and, you know, keep our events coordinated or whatever. And if your planner is working for you, just because somebody else's planner looks different than yours doesn't mean that it's better or
right. And it doesn't mean that it's worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that you said that, Heather, because I feel like as soon as you start to grow to what people would consider to be like a larger level, at least for me, I got into this really, really bad space of comparing and saying, okay, well, if I get more numbers than this person, then I am valid. Or if I have more of this than this person, I'm valid. And that was probably like a year ago for me. But I think not worrying about the numbers, like you were saying, and really thinking about it as connection with people. And then also just remembering, like you were saying, that there's room for everybody. Like if I screw in somebody else's light bulb, it doesn't dim my own. So
right.
Totally.
I read a book. I can't remember what book it was. I read a lot of books, but it was recently. And the author wrote about going to like an art studio and looking at this artist's art and hearing other people like cutting it down, saying negative things about the art. And the author wrote about how we should stand in front of other people's art. And of course, we may not like everything about it because it may not be like what we would do, but there's still something beautiful in that art. And so instead of standing there and saying like, oh, that's way better than mine, or, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way, you should stand there and ask yourself, well, what is beautiful about it? And then tell the person that this is beautiful. This part that you made is beautiful. And just focusing on that positive and like growing each other instead of looking at something and saying, her spread looks so much prettier than mine, or she laid these stickers out better and I'm jealous of this, that I didn't do this. Instead, look at it and say, tell her, I really like that you did this. And then decide, how can I do something similar in my own planner? How can I do that?
And love your own style. Like I feel like you can look at somebody's planner spread. Like I can look at a Heather Kell spread and know that that's yours without even your name on it. Same with you, Spice. Like know that you just made that spread and it's beautiful. So respecting your own style and knowing that you've got your own stuff. You've got something special to give too.
Yeah. So when you see what someone else does, you don't have to copy it, but you can also take inspiration from it and say, well, how can I make something like that, but that would work for me, and just change it up to fit my style. So
when I first started this and I didn't know, and I have to be honest, because the two of you were actually the first two people that I ever watched on YouTube. It was Beans and Monkeys and Kell of a Plan.
Oh man. OG Beans and Monkeys.
So, and then I think, and then I found Plans by Rochelle too. And it was, I had no idea when I got my first Happy Planner what I was supposed to do. I just knew that they made stickers and then I had this planner. And of course, that's kind of, Heather, what you want to do is teach people how to use their planners. And, that's definitely what the two of you did for me, was you showed me how to use my planner. But I don't think that there was ever a time where I sat down with like one of your layouts and just tried to copy it like sticker for sticker.
Right. Yeah.
Because, of course we have a lot of the same stickers. I mean, we shop the same brand, but there was one time that I tried to copy, not copy like to put up a picture of, but just when I was new at this, I wasn't going to show it to anybody. I looked at that spread all week and hated it. I never felt connected to it emotionally,
Right.
I really feel like that whenever I look at someone else's spread, I just hope at this point, in my journey, that they got some kind of benefit from that planning session.
Mm-hmm.
That
Totally.
sitting down with their planner was the way it is for me, which is very therapeutic. You asked me what I was going to do with that faux stargazer that I made. Well, it doesn't, it was like I may or may not write on it, but I know that the moments that I put into making it, that's where it was, it's so therapeutic to just sit down and put stickers in your planner.
Yeah, it really
Yes.
is.
Well, and what you said, Leanne, you said something about that, Heather and I taught you how to use a planner. I think that is actually kind of a big problem in the planner community, because I get that question a lot, and I'm sure you do as well, Heather, that people come and they're like, I have no idea how to use this planner. And it just kind of boggles my mind that people think that there's like a specific way that you have to do it, and they can't kind of let that go. Like, I understand being new to something, but that whole idea of it's got to be perfect before you can even lay down one sticker. I think that's kind of problematic in the community.
And that's when people ask me that, I get asked a lot, what planner should I use? What layout should I get? And or how can I use this layout for my life? And they'll list out like all the things that they do in their life, and then they're like, how can I make this planner work? And my answer is always, you have to figure it out for yourself. I'm like, that's a really personal question. You can watch all these videos to learn different techniques, but then you actually have to try it. And if it doesn't work that week, however you decide to do it, turn the page, and next week try again.
Glue them together, like stick them together.
If it still doesn't work, turn the page and try again. Like, I mean, I've been using a Happy Planner for 4 years now, and I'm still constantly changing how I use my planner based on my personal needs. It's just such a personal choice, because it's got to be what works for you.
Yeah, and I think that I never would have expected myself to end up in a monthly layout, because I always thought that I was like totally team vertical forever and ever. Amen. But, the relief that I feel when I look at it now, that's the way it's supposed to be. Like that for me.
And I think that some people get so stuck with a layout that they're not willing to try something else.
And I was afraid. Yeah.
Different layout may work better.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. That's how I was feeling when I was like, oh my gosh, there's no planners that I want. And I was like, but I really like the homebody, so I'm going to try this and we're going to see how it goes. I had like all this anxiety about it, which was weird, but I feel like I feel some peace about it now.
Yeah.
So are you guys are both going to move into homebody kind of? Heather, are you going to start, do you do a lot of the dashboard layout? Do you use that in your life?
I use the dashboard every other week in my mini planner.
Okay, that's right. And so, are you gonna just jump ship from vertical and just like
no. Vertical will still be my main planner. The dashboard planner I'm going to try out for social media, which is a big deal for me because it means that I'm ditching my teacher planner, and I've been using the teacher planner layout for like a year and a half now for social media, and it's like my jam. I'm obsessed with it, but I have a lot of ideas in my mind for how to make the dashboard layout work for social media, and I can't wait to start using it.
Okay, because I'm gonna get a homebody and I'm gonna get a stargazer, and I'm thinking about maybe using the homebody for podcasting, like to keep up with my to-dos that have to do with. Because for whatever reason, this is where I found myself. This is what I enjoy doing. And maybe it's because I can sit here with no pants on and nobody, y'all only know that because I told you,
Girl, you can do that on YouTube too. They only see your hands.
I was about to say, I filmed videos this morning with no pants on. So.
Exactly. I think I had a towel on my head last week. Like, I used to do all these face-to-camera videos, and I was like, this has got to stop.
Yeah, I do a lot of videos, but I'll go take a shower in the mornings or around lunchtime, and then I'll come and film videos, and I got my hair in a towel the whole time.
Well, that's like Shonda, playing like a queen. When she makes a video, she looks stunning at the beginning of the video. She introduces the video and she talks to the camera and she's like full hair, full makeup. And it's this, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. When I have to film videos where you see my face, I film them all in a row.
Exactly.
And then I
That's
just change. I just
I
change
do
shirts. Whereas then I'm like, I look good and I don't have to get ready like every single day. So like I already have a list of like some videos coming up that I know I need to show my face in. And I'm like, okay, what
exactly.
day am I going to get really ready and film the face videos?
But
Oh, that
really,
is
it's
so
only ready
smart.
from like the face up. Like I still
Oh,
rock
yeah.
my pajama pants with like my blouse or whatever is happening on top.
Your blouse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a child of the 80s.
No, I love that. I'm like, well, I have my towel on my head and I'm wearing a blouse with slacks.
That's right.
Blouse
No,
and
with
slacks.
your faux slacks, your pajama.
Yes, that's what they were. They were faux slacks,
Love
exactly, because they were not work slacks, but they were pajama slacks.
I think that needs to be an idea. Like that's somebody's $1 million idea right there for all the teachers in the world.
Yes, on the
Slacks.
inside they're pajamas, and on the outside they're work pants.
To look profesh.
Well, don't you remember pajama jeans?
Yes, I do
Y'all,
remember that.
Marielle swears by pajama jeans.
No.
Really?
I think it's pajama jeans that she wears. If it's not Marielle, I'm sorry for throwing that out there. But I'm pretty sure it's pajama jeans that she tells me all the time that I need to get.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
I'm gonna
have to try them.
I've only ever seen them on TV at like 2:00 in the morning.
After bananas in pajamas.
Uh, but they're like, oh, they feel like pajamas, but they look just like jeans. And they do. I mean, when you see them on TV, like the girl looks like she's wearing jeans, but I guess the inside has like a something
Sleep.
soft or flannel or I don't know. Pajama jeans. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, now that you've told me that, like every time I see her pop up on Instagram, I'm gonna be like, I wonder if she's wearing her pajama jeans.
She might not be. I swear that's what she gets them from Walmart. So maybe it's just jeggings. Maybe it's just jeggings.
Jeggings are
Oh, okay. Jeggings are amazing.
right.
And
The more spandex, the better.
yes, and I hate to even like push these, but if that's what she wears, the jeggings from Walmart, those jeggings are bomb. Okay, like those. Seriously, like I can get away with wearing those to school all the time, and nobody has any idea that I'm not wearing just regular pants. But I mean, and you know, Caitlin, you can relate to this. When you start wearing maternity pants
Oh my God, you
for the
can't stop.
first time,
Yeah, I still wear them. I got my maternity leggings that just came out of the wash that I'm gonna wear tomorrow.
yeah, well, you realize, why was I ever wearing a button and a zipper?
Exactly. And I'll do one better. When I have to go do a face-to-face thing with work, I just wear a dress. Like, why do you
Oh,
even
yeah.
wear pants?
I
Why
wear
am I
dresses all
even
the
gonna
time.
put on pants ever?
Well, yeah, you're kind of right, but I just don't understand why women in the world don't know about this jeans with a panel.
I call them my Thanksgiving pants because of that Friends episode.
Yes.
Joey was wearing Phoebe's maternity
Yes.
pants.
They're so comfortable. And when you have a pair of pants that buttons and zips, it like cuts into your body and
Unless they're really high-waisted. I really like the high-waisted because then like my whole everything that my children did to my stomach gets flattened out. And it's
oh, okay. Well, I still find when I wear pants with a button that when I take them off, you can still see the button on my tummy. So,
nobody has to see that.
well, I know, but it's just like you don't have to live that way.
You don't have to live that way.
That's what I told myself, is that you don't have to live this way anymore. And then I started buying jeggings from Walmart, and I was like, yes, this is where it's at. Oh. So the other night, Heather was live on Instagram,
Yes, she
and
was.
we were all there, and you had the coolest idea for the next Be Happy box.
Yes.
It actually was not my idea. It was someone who was watching. I can't remember
I
who
know
it
who
was.
it was. I do. I know who it was. We'll shout her out. It was Fake It Till You Make It.
Yes,
Oh, it
yes,
was.
that's who
Yes,
it was.
Yes, that was her. It was all her. And then she
Yeah.
was sharing it in the stories and tagging Stephanie. And
Yeah,
like,
I saw that. She like wants to make it happen.
yeah, she's like, I will manufacture the Be Happy box in my own home.
Well, when you said water bottle with Heather Kell lettering on it, I was like, yes, I'll get the
Yeah.
box just for that.
I know. Now I have all these ideas.
Yeah, so what's going to go in it? What would go in this hypothetical box? This
Okay.
Heather Kell Be Happy box.
Well, it would have to be like Heather Kell things. So like it would probably have yellow in it because I love yellow.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand that not everybody loves yellow. So it'd probably also have like some black because black looks cute with yellow.
Mhm.
And maybe some pink because I think that's kind of a cute combo.
Yes.
It would have some florals and some stripes. And like item wise, I would want like a water tumbler. I would
Yes.
want like some Papermate flare pins, but that like have quotes on like printed on the pin. I think that would be really cute. Somebody mentioned yellow metal discs, and I was like, yes, not the yellow metal ones that were in like that rainbow pack that recently came out.
Mhm.
There was like a rainbow metal disc pack that came out, but that
Yeah.
yellow looked like an ugly gold. It didn't.
Yeah, it
look,
was like gold.
yeah, it was like.
But it was a dull gold. It wasn't.
Yeah,
like
it was.
Yeah, it wasn't like
Yeah.
normal gold. It was like they were trying to make yellow and just couldn't get it. It was bad.
Yeah.
It would be cute yellow.
Well, okay, 'cause the first time you said yellow metal discs and everybody was freaking out, I was like, you guys, yellow metal discs is gold.
No, I want it to be yellow.
Yellow.
Like a yellow plastic discs, but metal. I
Okay.
don't know if that's possible.
Oh, I'm sure
But
it is.
if it is possible, that is what I'm envisioning.
Well, this box, this fictional box, anything is possible.
I know. Well,
Can I
then was
pre-order it now?
Mm-hmm.
when I got off the live that night, I called Matthew because I don't know if y'all were on the part when someone was like, "Is he asleep on the couch right now?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm gonna Marco Polo him and find out." And he never responded. And so I was like, "He must be asleep." So I called him after I finished the live to tell him good night. And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I've been on the couch asleep since like 8 o'clock."
That's my favorite part of your stories. I
I
watch those
know.
highlights all the time. Just Matthew's couch.
I know.
And
I'm trying to
so-
think how I could embarrass my husband on my stories, but he
So
just
yeah,
didn't.
then I was telling him about this box, which it's kind of funny because we had actually talked about doing a Kell of a Plan box before. Him and I and my dad. My dad is like he's an entrepreneur, he's like a businessman, he has a lot of connections with like a lot of different printing companies.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Matthew and I had actually talked to my dad about doing something similar in June, and then we just never actually did it. And so then I was telling Matthew, I was like, Matthew, other people came up with this idea, and this is what always said. And Matthew's like, well, maybe we should actually do it then. So it probably won't be a Be Happy box because that would be like
Right.
a Happy Planner official thing. I mean, if they want to, like, holler at me, like, I'll do
Well,
it. But
surely they know that people would love that. I mean,
Right?
yeah.
also, they probably I imagine they probably already have their next several boxes planned out, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and there's
So-
people that they're collaborating with that are, I don't know, like Amy Tangerine. Like she's
I mean, that's
She's
a big
something.
name. Like, how
Yeah.
does that compete with Amy Tangerine? Like,
don't cut yourself down like that because I think that Happy Planner would really benefit from partnering up with you.
I agree.
I think it would be fun, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you could say the ball's in their court. If they want to do it, like, let me know, Stephanie. But
Yeah.
if not, Matthew and I are, like, in conversation of, like, could we make that happen? And I think the hardest part for me and Matthew just doing it would just be, like, finding the products to put in the box at a reasonable enough price where the box is still affordable for people, you know?
Yeah, you
Right.
could actually even do like a quarterly subscription.
Well,
the
let's
Heather-
see
like
how
a
the
sub-
first box goes first.
I'm already like planning in my craft room like where I'm going to keep all of your boxes.
She's gonna be your distributor.
So maybe this could be a thing. It may never happen, but it's definitely got the wheels turning in our minds of. And my dad is like, he's like, well, let me see if I can find some people because he has a lot of connections, and so
Okay. So it's something that could happen. It maybe not be Happy Planner branded, but
yeah,
you could sell it on your Etsy shop.
yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say that it'll never happen, but we'll just have to stay
Okay.
tuned and find out.
Well, I think that would be so awesome. I mean,
And if
I
the
really
Happy
do.
Planner wants it to be an official Be Happy box, like, I'm on board with that too.
Yes,
Could you
I'm here for
imagine
that.
opening up that Be Happy box with some black and yellow floral tissue paper?
Oh my
So-
gosh.
Yes.
I would laminate it.
I
That's
would.
what
I would make
do.
a cover.
I would make a dashboard.
I think I would want the box to come with a cover.
Oh snap.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure.
Like
Stripes and florals. Stripes and florals.
Yeah, and like with my lettering on the cover.
Black and yellow.
I don't know. I think it's really cute.
Oh my gosh, that would be so awesome because I love yellow. And the only reason why I have never put yellow discs on my planner is because I don't want for people to be like, oh, she's trying to be like Heather Kell.
I feel
Like-
there. I know.
I love yellow, and I've had so many people who will message me and they'll be like, I used to hate yellow and now you've made me love it. And I'm like, you're welcome.
No, it's the best color. It really is.
It's just a happy color. Like you can't be
Yeah.
around yellow and be sad.
Yeah, I feel the same way about orange. I think that orange
Oh.
is super happy too.
I do
Yeah,
not like it.
I'm there with purple. Purple is my color. It is my jam. It is
Orange is probably my
soul.
least favorite color.
Really? Oh, that's so
Yeah.
funny.
only because I'm an Alabama fan and Auburn.
Oh, makes sense.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Clemson
that's
has
right.
which Clemson is kind of one of our rivals now.
Okay, okay. I see. Yeah, I knew it was going to be sports related.
I love football.
Yeah, I know, so do I. But I had a feeling that you were going to be like, well, this team is orange, so.
There are no purple teams.
Well, the you know what? The Baltimore Ravens are purple.
Oh,
and
I lied. See how much I know about sports? Nothing.
Clemson, the school that my brother works at now, is orange and purple.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
I don't
that
know how I
isn't-
feel about that combo.
It's interesting.
Well, it looks pretty in a planner spread,
That's
orange
right.
and
Sure
purple.
does.
And that's kind of how I decide if colors are okay. Like when I'm dressing, I'm like, okay, when I put these two colors together in my happy planner, then okay, then we're good to go. Because I've been trying to get away from wearing black because I legitimately will wear black all day, every day, all year. But I've been trying to bring in, like today I wore a yellow cardigan, Heather. My
Good
cardigan
job.
was yellow. Yeah.
You know what you need? Did you ever see on Clueless from way back in the way back when she had that outfit computer where she could just swipe her outfit?
Yes. Yes. Do you remember her yellow suit that was like plaid?
So cute.
We have a dress in our boutique that looks almost just like that yellow plaid.
Oh my
Okay, I will be buying
gosh.
that. I will be
Yeah.
heading to the boutique after this.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that sounds so pretty. So I bet you get this question a lot, but I know that, you and Matthew, you seem to be like a super like really cute couple, and he seems to be like okay with you filming him while he's sleeping, and he takes pictures of you, and he seems to be like super team Heather, like way supportive. So do people ask you guys a lot if you're ever going to have kids, or like when you want to have kids, or is that a question?
That whenever I post like a Q&A thing on Instagram where you can post the like ask me a question and then you can respond, every time I'll have at least 10 people. When are y'all gonna have babies? When are you gonna have kids? You want to have kids? I'm like, yes, we want to have kids. When I met Matthew, he wanted to have kids like right away. He was like, I want to have a honeymoon baby. That's like what he told me. And I was
he wanted to lock you in. He wanted to have you. He was like, I'm keeping this for the rest of my life.
He was like, I want kids. But then we got married and we just have been living like this life that we love for like 5 years. And it just hasn't really been like a top priority for us. Like at times it will be. I feel like a year and a half ago, we kind of got really serious about it. And then like a month later, we found out that my job was being cut. And then we decided that I was going to quit my job and that then I was going to have to wait a couple months to get onto his insurance. And so then we were like, okay, now it's probably not the best time to have a baby.
Yeah.
And then it just, since then I work so much, it just hasn't been a priority. But I will say like in the past month or two, Matthew has been like, we should have a baby. I'm getting old. So, I mean, hopefully sooner rather than later it will happen. But it hasn't happened yet. I will say it's a question we get all the time, and it kind of gets on my nerves. Not that you asked it.
No.
I don't get offended when people ask me, but it's also kind of like, I mean, I'm 32, and so I feel like sometimes when people ask, they're asking with the sense of like, why haven't you done this yet, kind of thing. Like, you're old. Why haven't you had kids yet? Almost not to shame you, but it kind of feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And so in that sense, it gets on my nerves when people ask, but it doesn't get on my nerves like in a way that it makes me like emotional or anything like that. It's just kind of like, well, I've been living a really awesome life. Like, I love my life. I love everything about it. And so it's just like, I think it will happen. I think we'll be parents one day, one way or another. Like, I'm going to have kids someday. either my own, and if for some reason we can't have them, I am totally open to adoption.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome. That's really
So
cool.
like there will be Kell babies someday, but I don't know when and I don't know how, but someday there will be.
Okay, well that's, it's one of those things that you get kind of nervous asking okay.
Right. Because you don't know their story,
Yeah.
Right.
A lot
And
of people...
I have a lot of friends who do have stories that are hard for them to talk about. And so I do think that like the etiquette should be like, don't ask.
Yeah, and that's
exactly.
that's why, I was like, oh my gosh, so should we even talk about kids? Because I mean, kids are such a huge part of mine and Caitlin's life.
Sure, yeah.
And I can't even remember my life like before them, even though I love my life right now. I mean, everything is great. I mean, look, I'm talking to Heather Kell.
The Heather Kell.
The Heather Kell. So, my life is great, but it's very different than it would be if we hadn't had any kids. I can't imagine what it would be like because I don't know what I remember last week in our episode, Caitlin, you mentioned, that maybe people that don't have kids have more time to have lots and lots of planners or whatever. And I just feel like that having my kids means I need more planners. Like
for real. Yeah. And I know exactly what you mean when you say you don't even remember a time without kids. I had my daughter when I was 21. Like that's a big chunk of life to be having kids.
Yes. Like you didn't even get a 20s.
I didn't know, but I will get a 40s.
Yeah, and I probably won't get a 40. So.
Yeah, I will not get a 40s because I will definitely still be deep in it when I'm in my 40s. But no, I think that I get nervous asking people that, and I think that a woman reaches a certain age, and I'm not saying that there is like a magic number on that, but once you get married, it's like people ask that immediately after you get married.
The thing, after you get married.
And I think we get asked a lot because people know that we love kids. Our nieces and nephews are like our whole world right now, and we both love them, and we're both so good with them. I mean, Matthew is like the best uncle ever. Like, I think these nieces and nephews love me, but I'm like nothing when Matthew's around. Like, they could care less if they're there if Matthew's there. And so I think that's one reason people ask us a lot is because it's not like we're a couple who is choosing not to have kids. Because there are people who choose that, and that's totally a fine choice. But like, people know that we love kids and people know that we want to be parents. And so I think a lot of people are like, well, then why haven't you done it yet?
Right.
And it's just it's just like, well, at the same time, we have loved this life that we've lived the past 5 years. So, I mean, I think it will happen. It's just not been a priority for us. And so in the meantime, we've been loving on our nieces and nephews like crazy. They're like our 4 favorite people in the world. So,
and I think that, when you put that up there in your stories and you give people the opportunity to ask you questions, sometimes I get nervous. Like I've never done that before because it kind of makes me nervous. Like, I mean, of course I don't have to respond. You don't have to respond to everyone, but it's just, I feel like that's the kind of question that a woman always gets as soon as they get married is, are you going to have kids?
Right.
And, having my own children, look, I'm going to be honest with you. You have to be ready.
You really do.
You have to be because.
Or you need to get ready real quick. Because when I had Delilah at 21, I was like, okay, this is happening now.
But, it's everybody has their own time frame. And, people are like, oh, no, if you wait till you're ready, then you're never going to have a baby. And I just don't believe that at all.
Yeah.
I think if you wait till you're ready, that you're never going to get married.
Yeah.
Because there's always, some kind of uncertainty about the future when it comes to marriage. But, as far as I think that you need to know that, it's going to be difficult to spend hours and hours in your office if you have a baby and, like those kinds of things. And would you take time off from Kell of a Plan? Would you take a maternity leave?
I don't know.
I mean,
that's a good question.
Is it you obviously make a living doing this, so it is your job. So,
yeah.
But at the same time, if you take time off, it's not like you're going to get paid leave because, so it's just a lot to think about. But I think that, you definitely, you answered that super elegantly. So
I had a lot of practice answering because people ask a lot.
Right.
Well, and I do want to throw out there, because I think I made the comment of like, it should be etiquette not to ask. I just want to throw out there that like, you guys asked me beforehand if you could ask that. So I don't want people to listen to this and be like, oh, they asked her and Heather's mad about it. Like, I knew that was coming. So it's
Oh
fine.
my gosh. With that
People read into stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I know. People don't email me.
Right. Well, you can email me. I'll talk with you. Email me all you want.
No, you can email me to have like a fun conversation, but don't email me and be like, hey, give me the tea. Was Heather mad that you asked that question? Like, no, of course Heather knows what we're talking about today.
This is what happens when you're in a community of mostly women. Come on.
Can we please have a fight? Is she going to have a fight? SpicedPlans and Kell of a Plan are having a fight.
Don't even say that, because now the rumor's going to be that.
I know, now they're started. Good job.
Oh, well, you know, all publicity is good publicity, you guys. So,
Right.
So maybe we should like start a rumor, Heather, that like the three of us are fighting, and then everybody would start following all. Well, you know, not that everybody doesn't already follow you, but you know, everybody would start following me and Caitlin, like just to see what we're gonna say to you, and we can have like this big.
The YouTubers do that with like the drama channels. Like they'll connect with them and like fight with other people, and then the drama channel will promote them. And like, no, that's not the way to do it.
That's a thing, really?
It's a thing, yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, see, I thought I had just thought of it right now.
Nope, it's a thing.
So what are everybody's plans looking like for this week? I mean, do you have, well, we know that Heather's going out of town, but Caitlin, what do you have coming up? Do you have anything fun?
Okay, don't make fun of me because this is an Oregon thing, but we're going to Fig Fest this weekend.
That sounds so Portland.
I know. We're going to go try a bunch of different figs this weekend. It's also Harrison's 4th birthday on Sunday.
Aww.
So, but his party will be, I think, in 2 weeks. But that's on the docket for this week.
Oh, well, because, you know, you can't miss the Fig Fest for a birthday party.
That sounds super exciting.
So,
keep Portland weird.
That's right. So do you just go and eat figs, or is there like entertainment and dancing and...
This is the first time we've gone, so we'll see. We also have like a lavender festival, so I'm assuming that it's similar to that, where there's like vendors and like kid type stuff, and like it's like a day event where you go to like a festival.
That's fun.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, because I actually don't have any plans for this weekend, and that's kind of great because this is going to be the busiest week of my life. I've got open house at school tomorrow night, and then Thursday night there's open house at my kids' school.
Oh, jeez.
And my son has a baseball game tomorrow night, so I'm going to try when I leave open house at my school to get to the baseball game. And I've got podcast editing to do, which is not a chore at all. It's like my favorite thing to do. But I also feel like I'm on a time schedule with them, you know, because because podcasts have like a release date where things have to be up at a certain time. Mm-hmm. And there have been times like Caitlin, like on a Sunday night. Like, I'll wake up in a cold sweat, like, oh, my God, did I put it up?
Right? Or I'll still be exporting on Monday morning, and you're like, girl, just let me do it.
I know. I'm like, girl, where is the YouTube video?
It was such a struggle last week. Such a struggle.
Like, I thought that you uploaded videos to YouTube all the time. Like, that's
not
why...
videos that are an hour and a half long.
That probably took forever to upload.
It took like a full day and a half to export, even though it was just audio.
Well, see, that's why I do everything. This is going to sound nuts, but I do everything from my phone.
I used to. Do it from your laptop. It's like 10 times faster.
Yes, it is. No. It's so slow. When I use my MacBook to export a video or a podcast, I'm waiting for like hours and hours and hours for it to export. But when I use my phone, it's like 20 minutes.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, and I don't really know why that is. I don't know why it's different, but I can't do anything else on my phone while it's doing that. Like if you leave that screen, then it has to start over.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason why I do the podcast editing on my phone is because I can sit in a carpool line and do it. Mm-hmm. Today I was at the DMV editing podcast. I mean, like I can do it anywhere as long as I do it from my phone. Now, as far as like a YouTube video goes, I use my iPad for that. Heather, what do you use to edit your stuff? Because you get things done pretty quick, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I do get stuff done pretty quick. I don't do a lot of editing to my YouTube videos, though. I have always wanted my channel to feel like someone is sitting down to plan with a friend. And I like know how to super edit videos and do all the fun stuff that you can do to a video because I used to be an instructional technology specialist. So that's like what I used to do basically.
What is that? What is that?
An instructional technology specialist. I was at an elementary school and my job, I did it for my last 3 years of education. My job was basically, it was the best job ever, to teach teachers and students how to use the technology in their classroom in like creative ways. So instead of just a teacher handing an iPad to a kid and saying, listen to this book on the iPad, it would be more like, here's a really cool app. Let's take what you learned and create something using what you learned in this app. And the kids are like creating on their technology. And so the teachers would basically tell me, this is what I'm teaching. And then I would look at like what kind of apps and programs kids that age needed to be using. And I'd pick an app and I'd take what the teacher told me they were teaching and I'd come up with some project basically. And I'd go into the classroom and the teacher would teach the content and I would teach the app part and then we'd work together to make.
So basically
awesome.
all of your jobs are like my dream jobs.
Yeah, I did that my last 3 years of education. Before that I taught, I was an English and reading teacher, but it was the best job ever. So, but it also gave me like a really good foundation of editing because one of the things that I would teach kids how to do is how to use iMovie to edit videos and put them on YouTube. That was a thing that I taught them.
That's awesome.
And so that's why people were requesting for me to start a YouTube channel. It was really easy for me to be like, okay, like I already know how to do all of this. So sure, I'll start a YouTube channel. And so like I know how to edit videos like super fancy like that, but first off, I put out a lot of content. If I did a lot of editing to my videos, I would never be able to put out as much content as I do. And I really have always wanted people to feel like they're sitting down and planning with me. Like, and so I talk through my videos. I don't do voiceovers. I very rarely do a voiceover because I want people to like see me mess up and I want them to see my mistakes. A lot of times I don't edit my mistakes out because I want people to know I make mistakes in my planner too. And so I don't do a whole lot of editing. So I usually do it just on my iPad within iMovie. And if I need it to be like a little more, then I'll put it on my MacBook and I'll edit on my MacBook. But a lot of the times I just do quick editing on my iPad. I don't edit much at all.
Well, you both have really cute graphics on your YouTube channel with your videos. I don't know how to put like a card at the end that says you might want to watch this or next up is this. You know, I don't know how to do that. I don't know. I mean,
You
like,
just slap an image on the end and then YouTube walks you through it basically after it's uploaded.
Yeah. So you put the image at the end of your video and then there's a tab on YouTube that says end screen and you can go there and put everything that you want on your end screen.
But you have to use your computer to do that. You can't do that from a mobile device, I'm guessing.
I don't think so. I haven't tried it.
I've always done it from my computer, so I don't know. It's just faster for me to get everything typed and scheduled on my computer. So I'm not really sure if you can do that on the iPad or not.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Everybody knows, let us know.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the other day when I was working on the YouTube video for our podcast, Caitlin was like, well, here, you have to put the end card. And I was like, I don't know what that means, Caitlin.
It's just an image. I just need you to put a picture on the end.
And I did. Like, and
Yeah,
I figured out, and I figured out how to take off the weird Skype circles and put on you know, our logo. Like I really, and I did all of that stuff for my phone.
You did amazing. I'm very proud of you.
So, you know, I don't know, like I'm learning so much, and you know, I admire you guys so much for putting out so many YouTube videos because I'm so much more comfortable in this platform. And when I've got the camera on, or when I'm trying to plan in front of the camera, and I guess maybe you get used to it. That's what I'm guessing, is that after you do it enough, it starts to feel.
I mean, for me now, it's almost just like second nature for me to turn on the camera and put my hands in front and just start planning and talking. And at first it was kind of weird, and Matthew would be like, who are you talking to? Like, But now it's just normal.
Yeah. Well, if you look back at some of my old videos, you can have a laugh if you want to like go back in the way back.
So bad. I was watching one of my old ones this weekend, and like the camera angle alone, I like wanted to throw up. I was like, oh my God.
My old ones are like mom type videos. They're like mom topics. And I was filming with the front camera on my iPhone, like not even looking at the camera. It's real bad.
Oh, see, now this is what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to go back through y'all's YouTube channels.
It'll be a laugh fest.
And I'm just going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find like the oldest ones and then like link them in my Instagram to the stories and do a little swipe up and be like,
well, they probably need views. They probably have like 20 views on my old one.
I want to be like, so you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel and you're worried about it? Let's watch Caitlin and Heather the first time that they ever tried to make a YouTube video. Just do it. Everybody that wants to make a channel just needs to do it.
That's how I am with my first planner. My first happy planner is like so hilarious. And I filmed a recording one time on an Instagram live, flipping through the planner.
I saw that.
I think I saw that too.
I have never seen so much washi in one place.
I know, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But I like show people that planner, and I'm like, y'all, if I started here, you can do this.
Started from the bottom, now I'm here.
It was so bad.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's tell them one more time. Just plug all of your ventures again.
Okay, so, well, I have a lot of ventures. Okay, so my boutique is The Garden Boutique with Holly and Heather on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And it is thegarden.boutique on Instagram. And if you want you can just go to your app store and download the app. It's called Piffany. And you can search for Heather Kell as your stylist, and it'll attach you to me. But if you send me a message and ask for the link, then my link gets you a $15 coupon. So you may want the link where you just download the app.
Ooh, a $15 coupon.
That's a good coupon.
And a clueless dress.
Yeah, good coupon. So you can definitely just go to the app and download it, but you get a little perk if you send me a message. So
okay.
And then I'm Kell of a Plan, Kell. That's my last name. My name is not Kelly. Y'all, I get called Kelly so many times. I spoke at an event in August, and when I introduced myself at the beginning, I joked about how people call me Kelly, and I'm like, my name's not Kelly, it's Heather. And then afterwards, I'm out in the lobby getting lunch, and someone walks by and was like, Kelly, your presentation was so good. And I was just like, thank you.
Who are you talking to?
Right. So it's Kell, Kell of a Plan you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and I forgot that I have an Etsy store under that name as well. So.
Oh, is that where you do your hand lettering, like vinyls and stuff?
Yeah, on my Etsy shop that I do, I will letter your name and cut it on vinyl. You could put it in most people put it in their planner, like on their title page, but it's permanent vinyl, so you could put it on a cup or a water tumbler or whatever you want to put it on. And I also have a lot of like planner bags, like tote bags and backpacks that have quotes that I've lettered with like a bunch of cute floral designs. So
okay. Well, I need to have you do my name and hand lettering because I have the hardest time writing my own name. And I remember when I watched your hand lettering video, you said, start with your name and write your name over and over and over and over and over again. Do you remember saying that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And that's what you said. So like every single day when I practice, I write Leanne. I write Leanne over and over and over again. And I just cannot get the N's to look the way I want them to. Like every other letter looks great, but N is so hard for me. And it doesn't matter how much I practice. But I would love to just see like how you kind of tackle that double N problem because it's just so. Yes, I need to order one of those.
Because you have to space it the right way so it doesn't look like an M. It's got to be an N.
Exactly, and it can look like four little. Blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like it can
little
just
camel humps.
Yes, it's so. Yeah,
that's how I feel about my last name. Whenever I letter Kell, because it's ELL, and so I feel like if I don't do it the right way, it just looks like 3 loops.
Yeah, you have to make sure that you make that E the right size.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, I totally get it. But it's funny the things that I remember. I mean, isn't that funny that I remember you saying that, like, just write your name a whole bunch of times. And once you've mastered your name, then, so I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm still working on it. So Caitlin, why don't you plug your stuff and then we will get out of here.
Okay, so I am creating in chaos on YouTube. I'm creating in chaos _official on Instagram because creating in chaos was taken apparently, not because I'm like tooting my own horn or anything. And then I'm also on Facebook and the Twitter and the Patreon, but all under the same thing.
Do you tweet?
Sometimes I have like that IFTT thing repost my tweets. I'll repost my Instagram posts on Twitter.
Heather, do you tweet?
I don't. I used to tweet when I was an ITS, like, because that was just part of the job. Is tweet. Twitter's very big in education.
Yes, it is. My husband is all about Twitter too, and I just don't understand it. Like, I look at it and I'm just like, ah.
It's just, I don't have time. It's like one more social media thing I don't have time for. So I don't tweet anymore, but I used to.
I feel like that's where all the drama goes. Like, that's where all the...
It is. That's where all the feuds happen, and I always miss them because I can't. When I look at that, it's just a bunch of like random words. A bunch of gobbledygook. It really is, and then there's like some ads in there that aren't relevant to me. And well, I am SpicedPlans, and I am on Instagram as SpicedPlans, and I'm also on YouTube as SpicedPlans, and occasionally there'll be a video up there, just like whenever I'm feeling, if I get a big haul or something, like I'll make a video. And I do have some Plan With Me's coming up that I've done. And then you can find me on Hello Happy. That's the podcast that I do with Plan Like a Queen. And we have a really good time over there too. So if you're a podcast listener, then go find that one as well if you like Happy Planner news. And then here we are at Spiced Chaos. And you can go to @SpicedChaospodcast on Instagram and follow us there. So
right. Yeah, I'm on that too.
Yeah, and one of these days we're going to post something. I'm convinced.
Yeah, you're going to have to take charge, you Instagram queen.
Yeah, I guess I am, because I do spend most of my time on Instagram. I need to come up with what kind of content we need to put up there. So Heather, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This has been so much fun. And for you being our first guest host, like, I'm convinced that we need to have a guest host all the time because this is so awesome.
It was
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
having me. Yes, thank you. Guys, we will talk to you next week. Yeah. And I guess we will just head on out so that Heather can get back to her busy day. And Caitlin, do you still have to work or whatever?
No, but I do have a toddler that's like sticking his hands under the door where I'm recording. So
yeah,
that's get in. It's like a zombie
sign. Yeah, that's a sign that it's time to go. So I guess we will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.